Okay, let's be real for a second. Reading quizzes can be one of the toughest parts of English class, right? But what if I told you there's a secret way to crack the code? Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to learn how to turn those super confusing questions into easy points.
You know that feeling, don't you? You've read the whole passage, you feel like you totally get the story, but then you look at the questions and your mind just goes blank. It's so frustrating. But hey, it happens to all of us, and today we're going to fix that for good.
So, for our mission today, we're going to be digging into this interview with a student named Vina. We'll use this text to learn some really awesome strategies. Think of us as a team, you, me, and Vina, all taking on this quiz together.
All right, first up, we are going to tackle that graphic organizer we saw. And to do that, we're going to use this really cool tool called SWBST. I know, it sounds kind of like a secret code, and honestly, it kind of is. It's the key to quickly getting to the heart of any story.
So the S in our secret code stands for somebody. Our first job is super simple. Who is this story about? We just need to find our main character. Let's go hunting for clues in the text.
And boom, there it is, right away. The text says, we talked to Vina. And what's a super important detail about her? She has won a talent contest. Perfect. Let's go ahead and pop that into the somebody part of our organizer. And just like that, the first blank is filled in. We found our somebody, Vina, a student who won a talent contest. See how we just grabbed that info right out of the text? Easy, right? Okay, let's find the next piece of our code.
Next up is W for wanted. You know, every character in a good story wants something. It's what drives them. It's their goal. So the question is, what is Vina trying to do? Let's head back to the text to find out.
And yep, the text hands it right to us. Vina says she wanted to get in touch with her roots and that she bridged a cultural gap. That's it. That's exactly what she wanted. We've officially found our W.
Okay, now for the juicy part. B stands for but. This is the problem, right? The conflict. The thing that gets in our hero's way. You can't have a good story without a little trouble. So, what was Vina's big challenge?
And there's our answer, clear as day. Vina says, I felt a little different from others. That feeling, that sense of not quite fitting in, that's her but. That's the problem she has to solve.
Now, the second S in our code stands for so. This is the solution. How did Vina face her problem? What did she actually do about it? How did she solve that feeling of being different?
This is the key. She says, I've learned to embrace both my cultural identities. Wow, that word embrace is so important. She didn't run away from what made her different. She accepted it. She celebrated it. That's how she solved her problem.
And finally, we get to T for then. This is the wrap-up, the resolution. So, after she solved her problem, what happened? What was the final outcome of her story? And the story ends on such a great note. The result? She says, I am proud of my family background. So she went from feeling different to feeling proud. That's her whole journey. And guess what? Our SWBST summary is officially complete. Awesome job.
All right, team. With our summary all locked in, we are more than ready for part 2, the question gauntlet. We're about to face 4 different kinds of questions, but don't even worry because we have the tools to beat every single one. Let's do this.
First up is what we call a gist question. That's really just a fancy way of asking, what's the main idea? Just think back to our SWBTS summary. The entire story was about Vina's journey with her identity, right? So option A, a girl's experience as a second-generation immigrant, totally fits. That's the big picture.
Okay, next is a detail question. For these, we have to hunt down a specific piece of information. The question is, what can we know for sure from the interview? Well, Vina says she learned Vietnamese opera from her mother. Now, we have to make a little logical jump here. If her mom was able to teach it, she's probably pretty good at it, right? So B is definitely the most logical answer we can get from that clue.
Now we've got a reference question. These questions are all about figuring out what a little word, like it, they, or in this case, there, is pointing to. You kind of have to be a detective and trace it back to find the source. Let's look at the text for some context. The sentence says, Vina's mom is from Vietnam. And the very next phrase is, when I spend my summer vacations there. So where is there? It's pointing right back to the last place they mentioned, Vietnam. See? Simple as that.
And here we are, the final boss, an inference question.
This is where we have to become true text detectives, because the answer isn't just written down for us. We have to use clues to figure out what is most likely true.
Okay, so let's focus on question 4. It asks which of these pictures is most likely Vena's mother's restaurant. We've got 4 choices. To solve this, we absolutely have to go back to the text and find our key clue.
And here it is. This is our one critical clue. The text specifically says that Vena's mom runs a Vietnamese restaurant. That's the only real information we have, but trust me, it's everything we need.
So, let's put our clue right next to the options. We are looking for a Vietnamese restaurant. Okay, let's look at picture A. What does that sign say? Vietnam restaurant. Well, there you go. None of the others match our clue. So A has to be our answer. We totally cracked the case. And just like that, you have officially defeated the reading quiz. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, you now have 2 new reading superpowers. First, use SWBST to quickly summarize any story you read. And for the questions, just remember the strategy. Read the question carefully, find the clue in the text, and then decide on the best answer. Who knew reading quizzes could actually be this simple?